Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Memes of the Week. The best thing you can do for this channel is beat that like button like it owes you money before watching this, so it reaches a wider audience. Also, before I get on with the memes, first a word from today's sponsor, the MGTOW Book Collection Part 2. Whether you're getting camel toe in Cambodia, banging babes in burqas in Turkey, or taking Polaroids of ladyboys in Thailand, Luca Vendetti has a series of books to make you live the dream. His new 3-booklet series includes How to Live on $500 a Month in Cambodia, Turkey, and Vietnam, in addition to his classic, How to Retire on $200K in Southeast Asia. He also has the MGTOW book. Visit MGTOWbooks.com and use the promo code Sandman to get 10% off. Now available in 4 formats: PDF, Mobi for Kindle, EPUB, and text-to-speech MP3. Sponsor link is down below. And now on with the memes. Number 1, here's another public service announcement from Skeletor. Divorce rates are 49% for same-sex couples, 29% for 2 males, and 72% for 2 females. Looks like men aren't the problem that women make us out to be. Of course not, because they have to project all the evil tendencies onto us before we can do the same to them. Maybe next time Skeletor can point out that domestic violence levels are also much higher for lesbian couples. Also, 70% of the time, it's the woman that wants out of a relationship. Up next, this woman's car broke down and she phoned the Automobile Association, demanding to be made a priority, because she's a lone woman. But they told her that they couldn't prioritize her because that's equality. So of course she's taking her story to the media so they get shamed and are forced to change their policies, to help women first instead of men, because women demand to have privileges and be served first, even though both men and women pay the same amount of money for the service. Number 3, this woman says she lost her voice screaming at Tyrone, wanting him to get sober. It didn't work, so she gave up and became a single mother. If the roles were reversed and this happened to a man, women would be telling him that he picked a drunk woman, so it's his fault for choosing a bad lady. She's also obese, so because of her size, she had slim pickings, even though she isn't. Maybe this guy could only handle being around her while heavily intoxicated. Moving on, Terry Irwin's hasn't been on a single date since losing Steve Irwin. She says she already had her happily ever after. But today's women don't go on dates. They just hook up. The question to ask is, has she hooked up with a man since? In the past, this is something that women did when their husbands died. They stayed single for the rest of their lives, and it was expected. Today, it's some sort of impossible task, staying a single and celibate widow. Number 5, imagine being a creepy math teacher for half your life, and then suddenly being given a $77 million mansion, a private jet and island. I wonder where he got all that from. It wouldn't surprise me if the CIA or Mossad gave it to him so he could spy on the elites and build up a portfolio of blackmail material. But he wasn't even that good of a math teacher, because he couldn't even count up to 17. Well, at least we know where he's got his initial supply of fresh female meat. Up next, who else is this many years old? Back in the days when the average hard drive was only 40 megabytes. I used to play this in the school's computer lab where we had Macs and Commodore 64s. My settlers in the game never made it. They always ended up starving. Today people would say the game is cruel because it's depressing to young people because it deals with life and death. There were endless ways to die in the West, and this game as well. Number 7, this isn't healthy no matter what she says. Besides, it looks like her body is on backwards. Either that or she's got a front booty, and because of that, rolling her in flour won't work. It's probably going to take her at least 5 business days to find her cooch. You really have to give credit to nature for making bones that are able to support this much weight. 30 million people have seen this post on X. The Javex Bleach Company is going to get rich because everyone has to wash their eyes out right now. Also, that poor dog is about to become lunch. Moving on, yet more insanity from the World Economic Forum. Now they want to ban homegrown food in gardens to meet net zero targets. Yet they're still strangely silent on their private jets' contributions to climate change. Growing food literally sequesters carbon into the ground and reduces CO2 levels. Do they really think we're that stupid? Or do they just want to make sure we have no alternatives to food sources? We won't exactly eat the bugs when we have homegrown broccoli and chicken broth now, will we? Number 9, look who doesn't want to go to jail. Amazing. Now if someone could go around and do the same to all the George Floyd ones as well, that'd be great. The only way to make sure that we've been unburdened by what has been is not to paint over that, but also demolish the building for good measure. In another 6 months to a year, no one will remember her or Trudeau anymore. Both will fade into obscurity. I'm sure someone will eventually propose that we carve a I'm sure that someone will eventually propose that we carve her face into a mountain. Yeah, Mount Laughmore. Up next, Ben Stiller and Mark Ruffalo, and more than 400 other Hollywood names, urge Trump not to let AI companies exploit copyrighted works. Remember, everyone, always make sure to call someone Hitler before asking for their help. The writing is on the wall for the film industry and their world is over. AI will put filmmaking and storytelling entertainment back into the hands of ordinary people. I can't wait to make Brokeback Mountain Part 2, starring the Hulk and Derek Zoolander. Number 11, these middle school administrators force teen girls to change in front of a boy in a school locker room. Maybe they were preparing them for their future careers as Lonely Fools models, without realizing that AI would take that business away as well. I'm sure all the girls' families will be filing lawsuits against that school. Then again, maybe the boy in question identifies as a girl, so that he could get into the girls' change room in the first place. Moving on, why are so many young Americans adopting fake English accents? Maybe they've been watching too much Ted Lasso, Peppa Pig, and Bluey. Then again, they're probably doing it because they think it's cool, like driving slow in the fast lane and dancing on TikTok. There must be a lot of popular British YouTubers that I've never heard of before. Next thing you know, they'll be getting Austin Powers glasses and making their teeth crooked at the dentist. Number 13, let the cast of the original Spider-Man show you the difference between jokes about women and when a woman tells a joke. Name something more unfunny than a female comedian. I'll wait. Women always say they want to be with men with a great sense of humor. Could that be because they don't have much of a sense of their own and want a man to entertain them the way a dancing monkey might? Up next, and speaking of Spider-Man, you can't talk about him without bringing up Venom. Here's Tom Hardy saying that being alone is addicting and peaceful. And once you realize that, you don't want to deal with people anymore. By people, he probably means women. And I wouldn't be surprised if he went his own way and went full monk mode. More men than ever are realizing that as we get older, that the painful loneliness we felt in our youth is replaced by the joy of the fortress of solitude in our senior years. Number 15, a New York housewife discovers her soon-to-be ex-husband hit $500,000 in Bitcoin. And it's part of a growing trend in financial infidelity. The only reason I think that governments might try and actually ban Bitcoin is because of this. I said try, but they will ultimately fail. It's almost as if women can't stand men having something they don't have to give to women. I told a girlfriend about possibly owning Bitcoin, and she looked at me like I was the devil. Moving on, earning six figures now makes you lower class. You've got to earn at least $234,000 today per year to have a comparable lifestyle to someone back in the 1990s. There are multiple reasons for this, including inflation, productivity gains, as machines make more money for their masters than workers ever could. If this sort of trajectory with people being impoverished continues, then I recommend people going out and investing in guillotines because a revolution will definitely come. Number 17, National Geographic has determined what Americans will look like in 2050, and it's beautiful. Everyone is going to look like an albino African American. But seriously, if you could Thanos snap all the dark skin away from black people and they look like this, how would the world change? If this is what the average American will look like by 2050, then you know that the sunblock industry will be making trillions. Now you also know why Michael Jackson had surgery on his nose. Up next, here's the difference between what many people think sluts look like versus what they really look like. There's an epidemic in infidelity among nurses for some reason. But given the choice between these two, I'll still take the nurses, because the ones on the left might have penises. Also, at least the ones on the left are honest about their debauchery. If you think the nurses are bad, then just remember that child molesters dress like teachers. Number 19 is the story about the unbearable pain a woman feels if she's unattractive. Translation, wah. No Chad Roan wants to bang me. She can't find a relationship. I'm sure there are plenty of guys out there that would date her, but she doesn't want to settle for any of them. For men, life is unfair, but we try our best. For women, when it's unfair, they need everyone else to change to make it better for them. Too bad no one gave this woman a pamphlet for plastic surgery yet. Moving on, white glamour model Martina Big, she certainly is, identifies as black, after having tanning injections, and is now moving to Africa. She took melanin injections to literally turn her skin black. She's moving to sub-Saharan Africa so she can be with her people. Why does someone even do something like this? I don't know, but it might have something to do with losing both her parents and sibling in a car accident. Doesn't she look so happy with her people? And look at this, the man of her dreams. Number 21, meanwhile, boys are learning ways to combat their toxic masculinity. And what exactly are girls learning? How to love and respect them. Yeah, right. Girls learn how to use their bodies to manipulate boys into giving them what they want. Girls need classes on empathy, which is something they sorely lack. And people wonder why many guys are enrolling in Andrew Tate's Hustlers University. At least he doesn't destroy their self-worth and tries to build it up instead. Up next, why is it that masculine lesbians tend to adopt the style of a 13-year-old boy with divorced parents? They're either trying to become the father they never had, or they're trying to become the bad boy they would have been if they were born a male raised by a single mother. They dress like this, though, because it attracts lesbian women to them for some reason, especially the lipstick lesbians that prefer a more masculine-looking male. Number 23, do you agree with me that without makeup, she looks 10 years older? In my opinion, she looks like your average 21-year-old Amish girl on the left and the average 30-year-old carousel rider on the right. Or maybe even a trans woman, because by the looks of that concave chest, she doesn't have any chesticles. Also, the difference in appearance wouldn't be as pronounced if the hairstyles were the same length in both pictures. Moving on, this radical feminist Sophie Lewis has a radical idea. She says we can't have a feminist future without abolishing the family. I couldn't agree more. All we need are sex bots and artificial wombs, and then we can procreate all we want, and we won't have to deal with the emotional torment of women ever again. We can leave them be to go their own way from us too. She has a radical proposal, but I know it won't look anything like mine. Number 25 and the last one, why is it that it's getting harder by the day to find a YouTube video to watch while eating? Why is the algorithm so awful these days? It seems to have gotten worse since they introduced tons of short videos. I know there's good content out there, but you have to search for it or go through my subscriptions list. But for the most part, most types of content have already been done to death. So that's why many of us are getting so bored. So that's it for another Memes of the Week. Please give this video a like to push it up in the algorithm and so new viewers can find it. If you enjoy this series and want me to keep making it, then donate it to PayPal. Subscribe to our links below. Anyways, enjoy the rest of your day, and cheers.